and welcome to the South Mumbai Zonal Semi-Finals of the Mind Wars Mumbai Debate Championship 2021. The motion before the floor is as follows. Krishna is a middle or upper class person graduating university. They have two choices available to them. They can pick up a typically high-paying, highly competitive job that isn't in their area of passion. So this could be an engineering job, a job in banking, consulting, etc. Alternatively, Krishna could pick up a job with satisfactory pay, but is in an area they love working on. Examples include being a teacher, a chef, a social worker, etc. What should Krishna do? The proposition in this debate will argue that Krishna should take the job that they love, and the opposition in this debate will argue that Krishna should take the job that pays better in the short term. I'd like to invite onto stage Anisha Bhatia from Podar International School to speak in favor of the motion. And speaking in opposition today is Anuja Randeri from Jasubain ML School.
Steve Jobs once said, "The only way to do great is to love what you do." I know. I'm quoting one of the richest and most influential technological tycoons of all time. So let me take a simpler example. My dog's trainer has a PhD in biomedical sciences, but she's a dog trainer. That sounds ironic, I know, but she chose to do what she loves, and she's been doing that for the past 10 years. Graduated from the University of Ohio, worked a full-time job as a researcher, but now decided to go and pursue her dream of working with animals. Today, we still see so many people leaving their desk jobs and switching careers to things that they want to do. So many bankers, engineers, computer scientists are shifting and becoming entrepreneurs. Why is that? It's because we started gaining confidence to follow and do the things that we love. I'm going to take one last example. India's best wedding photographer, Joseph Radhik. He left his job in customer development and marketing and decided to start this strange venture in 2010 on taking pictures of weddings. And today, he's the best and the biggest wedding photographer in India, shooting weddings of the most influential people, including people like Virat Kohli. Enough with the examples now. There are two main arguments in this speech. First, about an individual's happiness and overall well-being, and second, about how one person making such a decision can impact the society as a whole. Humans are not solely motivated by money, as suggested by Maslow and Herbu. Firstly, choosing the job you love is a decision that can come naturally to many of us, especially someone who comes from a middle-class background. Many say that you can't earn well, but you can. You can earn well in a job that you love. This is solely because you're likely to work 10 times as harder and be even more dedicated to the job that you're doing. You'll always have your love and passion to keep you going, and that can truly be a source of motivation for many, as I'm sure it will be for Krishna. It helps you work in the long term, which is so important. If you don't like your job, you're likely to leave it eventually. But if you love your job, you're going to stay there and continue working and climbing up the ladder. This decreases the chances of someone leaving their job quicker. Today, following your passions has also encouraged many women in India who don't have jobs because of the patriarchy to go ahead and start something of their own, whether it's a home chef business, a cooking business, and so much more. In fact, many women in poverty have been doing that, and I know women who produce cloth pads as well as other clothing items for large businesses today from some of the most rural areas in India. And this means that doing what you love can really be a source of motivation. Just before I end, I would like to quote General Bipin Rawat. He said, "You choose the army because you love the nation more than anything, and you'll fight selflessly every day for it. There's not much of a reward as much there is a risk, but you do it because you're passionate and love doing it. And that's the most rewarding thing you can find. And I think it applies in any job that you choose to do. Thank you.
Would you rather prepare right now, do something hard, and make sure you will have enough to sustain yourself in the future, or take something up risky right now and maybe fail in the future? Better safe than sorry, right? That's the advice you normally have to give to people. Krishna is a middle-class man. This means that he has enough to sustain himself, but is that all that matters? There are two main reasons that I prioritize when I think of giving advice to Krishna, and that is for him to think about the future, to support himself well financially, and secondly about maintaining interest in his passion. When I talk about maintaining interest in his passion, it first seems weird because if he's doing a job because he loves it, that means he should be putting his full into it. He should be absolutely happy with it, right? But we have to consider that this is the first job Krishna has ever taken. He has just graduated. First jobs are usually stressful because they involve a lot of money making. This is the first time he has to survive based on his own income. This might make him lose his passion because the things you do for fun are not always the things that will suit you as a full-time job. If he is demotivated by this job, there'll be nothing he can go back to. And you know what people do when they have nothing to rely on? Drugs and alcohol. Of course, we don't want Krishna to fall into this. If he instead takes this high-paying job and continues his passion as a hobby, it's a win-win situation because he's satisfied. His passion is something he relies on for fun. It might help other people in a part-time, and his job, his income is coming from a high-paying place, which is also helping other people. Secondly, this job would be better for him financially in the long term. As a middle-class person, he will be able to sustain himself but not his family. He won't be able to ensure that his children will get to follow their dreams and won't have to work their backs off because they don't have enough money. So instead, if he takes this job, it is initially well-paying. He will be able to sustain his family in the future. He will be able to save and prepare for situations like we have just seen, like the coronavirus pandemic, where even if he loses his job, he has something to rely on. So in the long term, I believe that this is irrefutably better. And no matter how many examples we see of people making money because they follow their passion, there is always that group of people that followed their passion, lost interest, and then had nothing else to do in life because they were absolutely demotivated. So instead of looking at that selective group, we should encourage Krishna to do something that will benefit him in the long term practically, not only based on what he thinks emotionally. We have to be rational while advising Krishna. So I think this is irrefutably the right decision.
That was a great speech. My question to you is that you said that the passion can be a side business. However, let's say Krishna wanted to do something like a social worker. If you think that people should make the decision depending on the money that they earn, who's going to look out for the people that don't have access to opportunities to earn themselves?
So there are several people in the world who don't have to look at finance so much because they are well set off, their parents have enough money. Krishna himself, he is a middle-class man, right? So for him, we have to look at his finances before it. We have to do things that are in his benefit. If he was well off, yes, he could do work like that, social work for the society. Right now, he doesn't have that capability, being a middle-class man. That's why I would encourage him to do this.
Why does everyone assume that if you follow your passion, you don't earn money? Because some of the biggest social workers in India are millionaires, if not billionaires. And if you can be following your passions, you could be working as a CSR professional in a company. So why do you think that Krishna needs to look at his finances and that can't intersect with his passion?
Of course they can intersect. If they intersect, then that's really good. He can go ahead, do the job of his passion. But I think we are debating about the case in which they don't intersect. If they don't intersect, of course, it would make a lot more sense for him to take the other job, right? I'm not saying that when you have a job of your passion, you won't earn as much money. Of course, you will earn money, but you won't earn as much as this. So he might reach that position of the head of a CSR in a company in the long run when he's 40 or 45. He won't earn it right now. The opening fees will be lesser, right? In this job, the opening fees themselves are so great that he won't have to worry right now in the short term, and he won't have to worry in the long term either. So, in your speech, you mentioned that if he takes a job of his passion, he will not leave it in the long term. And you made it seem like leaving the job won't be a very good thing, but why would it be a bad thing? In fact, these are the two scenarios I will play out for you. He takes a job of his passion, he turns out not to like it, and he leaves it in the short term but doesn't have anything to do. Versus, he takes a job that's not of his passion, does it for the money for a while, then leaves it and does his passionate job later in life for the long run, which with financial security. Why do you say that it would affect him negatively?
I mentioned that he would be, if he left the job, he was less likely to leave the job. And you mentioned that if he does leave the job and he was doing something following his passions, he will not find another job and he'll have nothing to do. But the thing is, as far as what I understand of our topic, was that he's already graduated. He still has that to fall back on. He still has his degree to fall back on. If he chooses to do something that he's passionate about, he's less likely to leave it, which is beneficial to him as an individual, because I'm sure since we're students, we're taught that commitments make so much more sense than hopping between jobs every 2 months. It's not that it's a bad thing, it's just that he is likely to have more financial security by sticking to a job than by leaving a job and not being able to find another one. So that's where I came from.
Okay, but in this other scenario, he has more financial security because he's earning more at first, right? Over here, he won't leave the job, but he'll end up making the most of his money in his maybe when he's 45 years old. Here, he makes the money, he leaves the job, he goes to the job of his passion, he makes it when he's 49 years old, he reaches that position when he's 49 years old, but he still has that money. So isn't this more of a win-win situation, although he's switching from jobs? And doesn't this also offer financial stability in a way?
Okay, so if they leave the job, like they first start earning in a high-paying job, if they don't like it, I don't think it's going to be motivating enough for them to keep going. Because while we see a lot of people doing jobs that they have to do because they're forced to do it, I can tell you an n number of people who don't do that. And if he's doing something that he loves, that just means that he'll be able to not just build financial security, but be happier as an overall individual. So I'm just going to take an example from our jury, because someone founded Lumiere, someone founded their own business, and I'm sure it's things that they love. It's not that they didn't consider the financial aspect of it, but it's things that they love. And that's what keeps you going. It's not money that keeps you going. It is the fact that you wake up every day saying, I will go to work today and I'm not going to hate it. But if you're doing a job that you possibly could end up hating because it pays you more, one day you're going to be like, I don't want to go. Then what?
Anisha, I have a question for you. You gave us the examples of Steve Jobs, India's most successful photographer, and a couple of others. And these were people who followed their passions and did very, very well financially. Let's set those people aside and assume that Krishna, if he or she continues in the job that they pick of their passion, they're going to be living, having a small amount of savings, but nothing significant to pass on to their children or to take care of emergencies. What would you then say Krishna should do in those situations when they have children or when a pandemic hits or family illness hits and they need a large sum of money to fall back on? What happens in those circumstances?
Okay, so I know that there's like two things I would like to say for this, right? 2 points I'd like to make. Forget the influential people, okay? I come from a family where both of my parents did not follow their degrees whatsoever. They have a management and a sociology degree, and they ended up doing public relations. And I would say I come from a middle-class family, and I would say that at the end of the day, I know that both my parents wake up saying, we will go, we will work, and they have a kid, they have me, I have old grandparents, they're the only kids, and they manage it because I'll tell you what, we think money can buy us everything. Money can get you the best education, can get you the best house, but I think it's more than that for a lot of people, because the career that you choose it's gonna be with you for the rest of your life. And you're wasting your time if you're not doing something that you love. So that's one of the biggest points I want to make, that doing what you love, it might be a little hard sometimes financially, but it's so rewarding in every other sense that you make it through the financial hurdles. And I'm not saying that finances don't matter, because they do, obviously. And let's say you have an emergency, let's say you have something that comes up. You are still going to have a certain extent of savings. Maybe you need to plan your budget a little bit better. Maybe you need to cut down on luxurious expenses sometimes. But maybe it's a little bit higher of a risk, but it's also the bigger the reward, like the higher the risk, the bigger the reward. So I think that's what I would go with.
So I'll ask both of you questions. You'll have to tell me when to stop. Okay? So I'm going to ask you advice for myself. Okay? Both of you. So do you remember my bio, broadly what she said? Yeah? What she did not tell you was that I am a Bollywood actor. It's more low-key, but what she did not tell you is that I have played cricket at a pretty decent level. Both of them are things that I'm passionate about. I've done theater pretty seriously. Should I have gone on and become, say, an actor and a cricketer?
Should I go? Okay.
Yeah.
I would say you could have become a cricketer, but also this is something you choose when you're young, right? You have to play for under 19. You play like since you're a kid. Very few people make it big when they're older. So I would say like, if you want to be a cricketer, maybe now is not the time. But in terms of,
No, suppose back then, like so I'm close to 30 now. At 20, should I have not?
Did you play any state trophies?
I had enough credentials. If you even for acting, if you search for my name, you'll find IMDb and all of those fun things come up.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, I think you could have taken the risk. Because you graduated college, you still have a degree, you still have something to fall back on, right? We're talking after college, right? Yes. So after you've graduated college, I think if you genuinely thought you had the potential to make it big, I would have given it a shot. But, and about your acting thing, I think acting, you can make it big and you cannot, because compared to a lot of other fields, if you really want to make it big, like be the next Shah Rukh Khan or whatever, then that might be a little difficult. But I really think if that is something you genuinely thought that you could do, there's so many other options, right? Like you can work as a TV actor, as a commercial actor, and if you put your mind to it, you could have done it. Yes, I do think you could have. But I also think that maybe the decision you made today, the decision that got you here today, is not necessarily a bad decision. Now that you're doing what you're doing, you're being able to give yourself the time to do things that you enjoy, things like that. So yeah, I think you should have followed your passions. I would have. But I also think that it was a choice you made for yourself then.
So do you think Microsoft pays well?
I think it depends on what you're doing for Microsoft.
Generally,
if you
like,
are the CEO
take
and
a
stuff,
guess. No, generally, do you think Microsoft pays well?
I think it does. If you're at a high level, then it does.
I was at a decently high level.
Yeah.
So let's assume income's not a problem.
All right.
Yeah? I quit Microsoft last year,
Okay.
built my own company.
Yeah.
Yeah? My income today is higher or lower? Take a guess.
I'll take a guess and say higher because I think that's...
Explain that.
I'll explain that by saying that you had the resources. Initially, you had the resources. You worked for Microsoft, you got what you needed, and after that, you were free to follow your passion. You were happy doing it, but you also had the resources to do it, right? Imagine you had not worked for Microsoft, okay? You were a middle-class person, you just graduated, no job, and then you became a cricketer, all right? You became a cricketer, but you didn't have the financial stability that you had, and so you were in stress. It's not like you were completely happy. You were happy doing your job, you wanted to go do it every day, but you were also stressed. Right now, you worked hard initially. After that, you followed your passions too at the side. That is really important. I completely agree when she says that your passions are important. But I don't agree when you say that money can't buy you everything, because it may not buy you happiness exactly, but it'll buy you stability. And stability is a huge ground to happiness. Moreover, you don't need to take your passion up as a job to stick with it. You can take your passion up as a hobby to stick with it. Imagine you became a formal cricketer, okay? And let's just say that you did not make it to the Indian team as high as you wanted. You were given a side job in it. Would you be upset about it, or would you be happy about it? You'd be happy being on the cricket team, but wouldn't you think that I'm not doing what I could do completely. I am not pursuing it for fun now, because it's become more of a race for me, because I want to get higher and higher in level for my pay to get more, and I'm not really enjoying it anymore. That is something that can happen. And when you take examples, you gave many examples, you only looked at the successful people. But that is, in fact, it is a cognitive bias. It is something that we tend to do when it is actually very irrational, because you have to look at what happens to the majority of people, right? You can't only look at the successful ones. So I think you are one of those successful stories, and I think that's because you had all that resources, that stability, because you worked at Microsoft initially. Maybe you would have done well otherwise too, I'm not denying that, but I think what you took, it was a safer decision, a more rational decision. And when I'm advising someone about what they should do in their life, I should expect the worst, right? And so I'd advise them to take the safer decision.
So this was tough, but I enjoyed listening to both of you, and I know I'm not allowed to offer prizes of my own, but if I were, I would offer you both fully funded scholarships to Network Capital, and the winner is Anuja.